All right, we are on lesson number 5. So I hope you're keeping track like I am. We are on converting weights, lesson 5. So we're going to flip back to our guided notes that we've been working on. Remember, we're focused on customary, which is building on 4th grade standards. And our standard we're focusing on is knowing what we're measuring, the unit we're measuring in, and then also the tool that we would use. And so I'm going to add, so we're going to add today ton. And the abbreviation for ton matters. It is a capital T. Now I believe that when they ask you to measure in tons, they're going to give you these measurements in a formula sheet. I do not think they're going to ask you to know this formula. So on the standardized test, there's going to be a little piece of paper with some little squigglies, and it's going to, when you hover over it, it's going to say formulas, and these are going to be on there. So I'm not 100% sure about this one. I'm 99.9% sure they're going to give you this one, but I know they're going to give you this one. All right. And so we're going to think about, whenever you're thinking measurement, you're going to have a visualization of what the measurement is. So you're going to think of an ounce as a slice of bread. You're going to think of a tomato or a canned good, something that comes in a can or a soda can, as a pound. And you're going to think of tons as like a horse, an elephant, or a bison. And you're going to think, this is what I measure myself in. And so you can kind of think scale down and scale up. All right, so we are converting customary units of weight. And just a reminder, what's our definition of conversion? Hopefully you thought something like changing from one unit to another. And weight, what's our definition of weight? All right, so we know from science that it's the measure of the pull of gravity. But we know that on the Earth, it is the same as the scientific term mass. Mass matters, a measure of the amount of mass, a measurement of the amount of matter. But if we were to go into space, this would be different. Our mass would stay the same, but our weight would change based on our gravity. And remember that simulation we did where we changed the mass of the Earth, and we changed the mass of the sun, and we saw how it affected the orbit. So kind of think about that lesson that we did. All right, so we're going to convert to either ounce, pound, or ton. And we're going to do the same thing. We already have our formulas right here, but we're going to do our little anchor chart. So I'm going to give you a minute to write the anchor chart down here. And remember, the more times you do this, the better you'll get at it. So if we go from small to big, we're going to divide. Big to small. Sorry, we're going to multiply. All right, we're going, a newborn lion weighs 5 pounds. How much? 5 pounds. How many ounces does the cub weigh? What are we finding? Ounces. And so we're going to do what verb? Convert. All right, we're going pounds to ounces, which is big to small, which means we multiply. We need 5 groups of 16. So 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. 5 pounds equals 80 ounces. So that weighs about 80 ounces. And we could check this by doing the inverse operation. And so if we multiply, the inverse operation is divide. 80 divided by 5 is 16. All right, as with units of length and units of weight in the customary system, they can also be expressed using fractions or decimals. And I can guarantee you, on the standardized test, you're going to have a couple of these where you have to think in fractions and in decimals. Since you're changing a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we divide. The remainder, I'm going to go ahead and write small to big, divide, big to small, multiply. I'm going to go ahead and write down my conversions. Remember, those are our first two steps. We write down our anchor chart and we write down our formulas, unless they give them to us. We are converting 56 ounces to pounds, so we're going to divide 56 into groups of 16. 16, 32, 48. 3 groups of 16. I have 8 left over, which means I have 8 out of the 16 ounces needed. So I have the remainder 8 means that there are 8 ounces left over. I have 8 out of 16, which can be reduced to 1/2. I know that 1/2, when I convert to a decimal, is the same as 5/10, which we write that as 0.5. So I have 3 pounds, 8 ounces, which is 3.5 pounds, are 3.5 pounds. This was the skill or second fraction skill in quarter 3. All right, so here we go. We're going to do our guided practice. We're going pounds to ounces, big to small, which means we multiply. 3 times 16. 48. 3 pounds equals 48 ounces. 2.5 pounds. So I'm going to think, how would I write 2.5 as a decimal? 0.5. All right, we're going big to small, which means we multiply. 2.5 times 16. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Tens place. We add our placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. Add. Now, think in your head, how do we add our decimals when we're finding a product with a number that has decimals? So we count the number of decimals in our factors. We only have one decimal place value. And what do we always say? Where is the decimal hiding? Behind the number. Like you would hide behind a tree. So we're going to go behind the number and we're going to froggy jump one place value, which gives me 40 ounces. All right, we're going to go small to big, which means we divide. 32 divided by 16 is 2, so 32 ounces equals 2 pounds.